Welcome to Dr. Tarazi's Math Site. This video is one of a series covering the 2024 released Ohio State math questions. Recommendation:
To make the most of these videos, it is recommended to pause the video when you see this button, solve the problem, and then resume the video to check your answer.
Hello and welcome. This item has two parts. Monik calculated the value of this expression using the calculations in the table. Monik made an error in her calculation. Part A, in which step did Monik make an error? So you look at each row and see what happens between the row and the following row. So this is the original expression right here. So what did she do from here to here? Oh, what she did is she did negative 10 is negative 8. And here she is trying to do a common denominator. So she put 4 over 12. So this step is correct. So that there's no error here. So there's no error here. Now between 2 and 3, what did she do? Nothing here. And here she did 4 plus 5, she added this, 9 over 12, which is 3 over 4, so that's correct. So between row 2 and row 3, there's no error. So that's not a good answer. Now let's see between row 3 and row 4. So negative 24, it should be divided by 4, and this should be negative 27 divided by 4. That's where the error. That's where the error. So this is the good answer. That's the error was between row 3 and 4. Between 4 and 5, there's no error. There's no error between 4 and 5. The part B, what is the value of the expression? So we know up to this point, everything is correct. Here, this should be divided by 4, divided by 4. So that would be negative 51 divided by 4. And that would be the answer of this expression. The graph shown represents the proportional relationship between the tablespoons of baking soda, X, and cups of water, Y, needed to make a cleaning solution. The constant of proportionality is P. Select all. When you see the word select all, there will be more than one answer. To get the full mark, you have to find all the possible, the correct answers. Now, first of all, let's remember that the constant of proportionality P is Y over X, Y over X. So this should be N over B or M over A, okay? So, P, N, A over M, no. M over A, yes. For every A cups, there's no cups. A is not a cup. A is a tablespoon, so that's not a good answer. For every B tablespoons of baking soda in the cleaning solution, there are N cups. Yeah. For every B, there is N. Yeah, that's good answer. For every M tablespoons, M is not tablespoons, okay? M is cups, so that's incorrect. Okay, that was question number 10. That's a level 1, no calculator. What is the value of negative 2 times 3 over 5? So when you do negative 2 times 3 over 5, you do negative 2 over 1 times 3 over 5, and you get negative 6 over 5. So that's how you calculate this product. So this one is incorrect. That's your correct answer, negative 6 over 5. All of the others are incorrect. Okay, you don't multiply this by 3 and this by 5, okay, like what happened here. That's wrong. Negative 6 over 10, that's also wrong. Negative 6 over 5, negative 6 over 5, over negative 5, that's wrong. That's the only answer, good answer. Vanessa states that parallelogram never have right angles. Select a box to show whether Vanessa's statement is correct. Use the connect line tool to draw a figure that supports your answer in part A. Okay, so she's saying that parallelograms never have right angles. The answer is incorrect, wrong, because you can always make a rectangle. That's a parallelogram. So rectangle is a special case of parallelograms where all the angles are 90 degrees. See, this line is parallel to this, and this is parallel to this, and 90 degrees. The population of Drumville is 4,068, and the population of Cardonton is 3,812. Brian surveyed a random sample of 400 people from each town about their ages. His results about the sample are given. Drumville has a mean age of 36 and a mean absolute deviation of 10. Cardonton has a mean age of 49 and a mean absolute deviation of 8. What conclusion can be made about the two populations? A. No conclusion can be made since the sample size are too small. The sample sizes are too small. Actually, 400 is not too small. It's not. Is a reasonable size of sample. So that's not a correct answer. No conclusion can be made since the mean absolute deviations are not the same. These have nothing to do with each other. So that's also not a correct answer. Trying to find what happened to my cursor here. There is generally more variability in ages in Cardonton than there is in Drumville. In Cardonton, it's 8. In Drumville is 10. That's not more than 10. Okay? More variability? No, that's not more variability. Okay? So that's also incorrect. We're left with only this answer. The people in Drumville are generally younger than the people in Cardonton. Yeah, they're generally younger. A circle has a diameter of 12 units. What is the circumference in units of the circle? Diameter is given. You be careful about that, okay? So let's remember things. This is the circle. This is the diameter from here to here. That's a radius. The circumference is 2 pi r. So if you have the radius, you multiply it by 2 pi, you get the circumference. Here he is giving me the diameter, so that's the 2r is the diameter. So that would be 12 pi. This is simple. Alida wants to know whether apples from the farmer's market and the grocery store weigh about the same. She measures the weights in ounces of 10 apples from each location. Then Alida calculates the mean and mean absolute deviation of the data as shown in the table. That's the farmer's market. That's the grocery store. The mean is 5.1 and the MAD is 1.5. Mean 5.3, MAD 1.25. Which interpretation of Alida's data is correct? The weights of the apples from the farmer's market and the grocery store are about the same. I would say the same. I would say that that's a good answer. Okay, so let's wait to decide about it later. Let's look at B. The apple from the grocery store always weigh more than the apples from the farmer's market. Okay, this variance of both data sets is much greater than the difference of their means. So that's not a good answer. That's not a good answer. The apples from the farmer's market generally, weigh more than the apples of, obviously not, that's not more than this. So comparing math is not correct here, because you might have compared these two, you don't compare them here, okay? So that's incorrect. The apples from the grocery store generally weigh more because of the mean absolute deviation has a greater value. This has nothing to do with it, okay? So comparing math is not correct here, so that's the only correct answer. Sal pays 1.80 for 0.75 pound of peppers at a market. What would Sal pay for 1 pound of peppers? It's many questions. You use proportions. Okay, that's the easiest way of solving the problem. So you set it up this way. You say I have dollars and I have pounds. Okay, $1.80 to 0.75 pounds. Now, what would Sal pay for 1 pound? For 1 pound, okay, so you set it this way all the time. So this is dollar, this is pound. What is given? 1. The dollars are missing, so you do cross multiplication. You multiply these two, and you divide by this. Okay? 1 times 180 divided by 0.75. X, and you get 2.40, which is this one right here. Now, sometimes you can set it up this way. You put dollars, you put pounds. Dollars 1.80, pounds 0.75, and I'm giving a pound 1 pound. You put X here. Again, you do the same thing, cross multiplication, divided by this. Many examples are like that, okay? This item has 2 parts. Mandy and Raj have at most 90 minutes to set up and play a game. It takes 12 minutes to set up the game. Okay, that's 12 minutes is to set up the game. Each round of the game takes 7 minutes. Each round, 7 minutes. Create an inequality that can be used to find the number of rounds or they can play. So that's the 2 parts. Be careful. Don't forget one of them. What are the information we have? At most 90 minutes. So 7R, because each round takes 7 minutes, plus the 12 minutes to set up the game. So you need this to be less or equal than 90. That's your inequality. 7R plus 12 less or equal than 90. Now they are saying you what is the maximum number of complete rounds they can play. So you have to solve this. Go, you subtract 12 from both sides. You get 7R less or equal 78. Now you divide by 7. And you get 11.14. So this should be a whole number, so the answer will be 11. So they can play 11 rounds. A right square pyramid measures in centimeters is shown. So that the base 6, that's what 6, all of these 6, that's 5 here. What is the total surface area of the square pyramid? You need to organize yourself so you don't forget anything. So you have a base and you have 1, 2, 3, 4, you have 4 sides. So area of the base, that's a square, that's 6 times 6, 36 centimeters squared. Now area of one side, okay, remember this is 6, and many students multiply 6 times 5. Always triangle, you have to put half. So half of base 6 times the height, 5. So half of 30 is 15. Now that's for one of them. 4 triangles, you multiply that by 4, you get 60 centimeters squared. Now you have to add these two numbers, and you get this, the total surface area is 96 centimeters squared. Darnian has a bag of pencils. Each pencil has a color and a pattern, okay? A color and a pattern. There is an equal number of pencils of each color and pattern. The colors are red, blue, green, yellow, and orange. The patterns are solid, checkered, and stripped. Damien picks a pencil from the bag. What is the probability that Damien picks a solid yellow pencil? Okay, we need it to be solid and yellow. So number of colors, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number of patterns, 3. So smallest total number of pencils, smallest total number of pencils, 5 times 3, 15. So now you are picking up one solid yellow, that's 1 out of 15. Probability to pick a solid yellow pencil is 1 out of 15. 1 out of 15. Seema uses 45 square feet of material for every 6 tote bags she makes. Last weekend, she used 20 square yard of material to make X tote bags. 1 square yard equals 9 square feet. So they're giving you this information, 45 square feet of material for every 6 tote. And they're giving you, she did 20 square yard. Be careful, we are talking about square feet here and square yard here. And to help you out, they said 1 square yard equals 9 square feet. She sold X tote bags she made that weekend at a craft fair for $5.25 per tote bag. That's a good information that we have. How much money in dollars did Seema receive selling tote bags at the craft fair? Okay. So let's see what we do here. We have 12 square yard. We need to know how much is square feet in 12 square yard. So 20 square yard is times 9 is 180 square feet. 180 square feet. Now, set it up this way, as I just mentioned. Square feet, tote bags. 45 square feet, 6. We can make 6. Now, she used 120 square, so you put 120, 180 here. X, again, cross multiplication, very much used, okay? Divided by this. So, X is 180 times 6 divided by 45. 24 tote bags. Okay, that's how many she made. She sold each one for $5.25 per, and then how much did she make? So 24 tote bags times 5.25 is $126. Marshall spends $5.50 at the grocery store and 4 times that amount at the bookstore. Now he has $7.75 left. How much money did Marshall have before going to both stores? So you have this information, how much he spent at the grocery store, and 4 times the amount at the bookstore, and now that's how much left. So let's see how we can do that. Before going, we need to know how much he has before going to the stores. Marshall spends what? $5.50 at the grocery store is given right there. How much did he spend at the bookstore? 4 times this amount. 4 times this at the bookstore. Then, and he's left with this. So obviously, initial amount was what he spent in the grocery store, plus what he spent in the bookstore, plus how much he left with him. You add up, you find the answer would be 35.25. 35.25. Two right trapezoids are shown. The larger trapezoid is a scale drawing of the smaller trapezoid. A scale drawing of the smaller trapezoid. What scale factor is used to draw the larger trapezoid? So this will be 7 divided by 4 or 10.5 divided by 6. That's how you get that. So it's a scale drawing, and we want scale factor is used to draw the larger trapezoid, okay? So scale factor 7 over 4 is 1.75, or you can do 10.5 over 6, you get 1.75. This is an interesting question. A machine at a factory produces plastic tubing in different lengths. The rate of production is constant. That's important. The table shows lengths of 4 different parts and the time it takes for each to be produced. A factory worker noticed that there is an error in the table for one of the parts. For one of the parts there is an error. Complete the statement to show how to correct the table of values. Okay, so and they're giving you this two drop down possible answers, okay? So first of all, let's see. I need to see the rate of production, the rate of production. So I'm dividing for part A, B, C, and D. I'm dividing the time divided by the length. Time by the length. Time by the length. Time by the length. Time by the length. I see that this and this and this are the same. So I have a problem here. So this would be part C, the error in part C, okay? Since the rates are the same for part A, B, and D, the incorrect part is part C. So this is incorrect. I'm going to put it X here. So now I want X over 0.60 to be equal 2.4.4, 204.4, similar to the other values. So now you can put over 1 here, you can do cross multiplication, and you get X equal 122.64. So it's not 122.10, it's 122.64. And you fill the error was in part C, and that how much is the time should be. Which expression is equivalent to this expression? This, or this, or this, or this. So you start with this expression. First of all, you can do distributive property, okay? So you get negative 6an. Negative times negative is positive. 3 divided by 3 is 1, minus 5n. You add the like terms. That gives you negative 11n plus 1. And look at it here, you find it right there. You find it right there. You can't guess here. Don't try to guess. Yes, you have to calculate this expression. This is an interesting example, a figure containing line CE as shown. CE is one line, one straight line, okay? That's important information. What is the value of X? What is the value of X? This is, he called this 4X, okay? So now let's see. I'm saying that angle BOC is 50 because this is 90 minus 40, that gives you 50. This is 50. Why? Because 40 plus 50 is 90. Now, Angle AOC is 90. AOC is 90. Why? AOC is 90. Why? Because this is a straight line. Straight line makes 180. This one is 90, so this one would be 90. So that's 90. So now 4x plus 50 is equals to 90. And you solve this equation, subtract 50 from both sides. Okay? You get 4x equal to 40 divided by 4 divided by 4. And you get x is equal to 10. X is equal to 10. Now be careful, if they tell you what is the measure of angle AOB, you are not done. AOB, you're not. You only found x, you times it by 4, it will be 40, okay? This will be 40. Jeff is conducting a survey of students at his school to find out which candidate for school president they prefer. There are 106 graders, 200 7th graders, and 108 graders at the school. Which sample of 60 students should Jeff take to get the best results? We have 66, 200, and 100 here at 80 graders. Now, 60 randomly selected students from his school, that sounds the correct answer, but let's check the others, okay? Let's check the others before we come back to here. 60 students that entered the school on a Wednesday, that's not correct, because that's a biased sample. 20 randomly selected students from soccer team in each grade, that's again a biased sample. 60 randomly selected students from the 7th grade and the 8th grade, that's also not good because that's not representative. So you ignored the 6th graders. So that's incorrect, though the answer will be 60 randomly selected students from the school. A rectangular prism is sliced by a plane parallel to the base, like here, parallel to the base. They gave you the figure, and that's the thinking. Which shape represents the cross section? This section here, what does it look like? Is it a triangle? No. Is it trapezoid? No. So you have a choice between square and rectangle. Obviously, this is a rectangle. It's not a square. It's a rectangle. Now, obviously, if you do it this way, you get square, okay?
Thank you, and see you soon.
Thank you for watching. More videos to come. Please subscribe.